Hello and welcome back, friends. So we are getting ready for Geekay going up against Nightmare. This ought to be a good one. I feel like every time I say that, I gotta curse the series to go 3-0, and it was an absolute stomp. Alas, this shall not be the case because I count on you, Avril and Jack, to counter-curse me. Let's talk about the two teams. Geekay first. Let's talk about the roster and what we've seen from them thus far, because honestly, UV was insane in their last series. Like, I think as far as players go, standing out, it was UV on that Wu Yang. That's something you want to get out of his hands.
Dude, he's just a beast. Like, there's a reason why people have been calling him, and himself, to be fair, the best Wu Yang in NA. Like, the guy's just unbelievable. The amount of damage he's doing, topping the charts right now. And who said it in EMEA? Was it Landon? I think it was Landon in the interview saying that, you know, it's probably going to get nerfed at some point before Stockholm. Honestly, if they're just watching, if they're just watching the POV of UV right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they hit it with the damage nerf or something, because, yeah, the guy's a menace on it.
But even if they do that, like, UV can play so much different stuff to such a high level too. Like, it's not even like they need the Wu Yang.
And just farm it for now. Like, before, if assuming a nerf does come through, get as many wins, farming the Wu Yang as you can, which is exactly what GK are doing. They're looking like top dogs in the region right now as well. Super flexible on the team. We were seeing Cuffer bring the ball back, which has been on my wish list for a while, because he used to be like a ball player. He played it a long time ago. You know, Cuffer and I, we go back. You played at Contenders Australia back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But he hasn't played the ball for a long time. Like, dude, he needs to start bringing that back, because we're kind of like, I don't want to say we're in a ball meta, but ball's one of the super viable heroes in the meta, so you got to be looking towards that. And Cuffer is a player that has the capability of flexing his hero pool. So I think Infected does win out in the flexibility, but when Cuffer sort of is able to sort of flex around a bit more, play the ball, then GK have that in their cards as well, on top of everything else that they're doing so well. So it might be tougher for Nightmare, because GK are looking damn good, as they always do.
He's also just such a vibes player. Like, Cuffer, he's a whole vibe on the server. Now here are some numbers just to hype him up some more. UV was farming, most healing done, most damage done over like the board of his entire team. Now, to put that a little bit into context though, they did play against Team Z in week 1 and then against Sakura week 2. They won both those matches 3-0, so naturally inflated numbers to some extent.
But still, 4 deaths in a...
Oh yeah, no, it was insane. It was filthy.
Oh, he's so good. Yeah, but you are wrong, Zoe. They haven't really been tested as...
Seldomly are.
Up until now. I mean, but then on the other flip side of things, it's like Nightmare have been rather disappointing. The only maps they've taken so far against top teams have been Ilios, which has been good. That was against SSG and TL, of course. They did win against Steel Ducks very convincingly. Dildox only got 1 point on Ilios control, but Nightmare still managed to win that, you know, of course they would. But this team just needs to prove itself. It had a small swap during the break, during the Stage 2, Stage 3 break. Seeker for Chronic, trading SSG and Nightmare. And you're like, okay, this is great. Seeker is an extremely good player, very good on the hit scan. But the team is just, I don't want to say they've not found their identity. I think they've got a lot of different looks, especially with how they've been swapping their tanks in and out. They've just not been looking hot this meta at all. It just doesn't feel like it's theirs.
I think the peak Nightmare cope has to be, well, this team is a team that needs to warm up a little bit more. Yeah, they made a roster swap, and that I don't know if that's really going to be I don't know if that is the thing that is potentially holding back right now, but it could be a meta thing. You mentioned identity in there as well, but Nightmare are the team that so far have made every single major. They haven't dropped a single land in terms of qualifying into them. So this is the underdog team of all underdog teams that late into the season, late into the stage, maybe during playoffs, they're going to find a peak. They're going to find some sort of, you know, late meta read. Maybe the meta changes. Maybe if Landon does correctly read that the Wu Yang's going to get banned at some stage and we have a bit of a swap and Nightmare suddenly find the groove, and then they sneak in with another top 3 in NA again. That has to be the fair of everybody else in the region, because Nightmare have done it twice already.
Yeah, Nightmare, more difficult schedule for sure than their opponent, right? Their first opening match was against Team Liquid, and then they had to face off against SSG. They did manage to win those control maps, as you guys mentioned beforehand. We're also seeing a change here. Painkiller in the mix in the starting roster. Rhino played fantastic last week.
Yeah, Rhino's sick. Like, really good on dive tanks. Winston, Wrecking Ball, fantastic. I'm assuming we're going to Ilios. I would imagine. I can't imagine they would want to go anywhere else. This is the stats for Seeker against Dildux. A very high KD, as you'd imagine, against Dildux, it being kind of a 3-0. Not as low as deaths as UV, for example, hitting with the 14. But you are a DPS, so you know you're going to be in the mix a lot more. But yeah, Seeker's been a stand-up player for a long time. It's just it was a struggle last stage though for him. You know, on the Freya against people like X10, Chronic, etc.
I don't know. Has Seeker been playing too much Tracer at the moment? I would imagine Rocket is typically.
No, it's Rocket on Tracer, and then you have like Seeker on Reaper, even a little bit of Freya, Sojourn, like some of the default hit scans.
I will say, given the substitution situation, Nightmare is going to be easy to ban out compared to a team like Liquid or GK, where you've infected a cover that have way more varied hero pools, so they're going to be more difficult to target. Obviously, we talked about Hawk on SSG already. He's very easy to ban out because he is, you know, probably the most rudimentary hero pool, although what he does play is unbelievably good. So there is that. The swap between PK and Rhino is going to be interesting today. I would like to potentially see the ball mirror come on through. I think that could be an interesting look. Obviously, for map number 1, it's not going to be the case. If they're going to play PK early, we're going to look towards Zarya, stuff like that. So I think that's been PK's main hero so far in this meta, because Orisa not doing so well in the meta.
I definitely want to see the Nightmare we got to see last week. They were firing on all cylinders. They look dialed in. We got vintage Seeker back in action, absolutely fragging out on the server. And that's the team that they need to be today in order to take down Geekay. So let's see if they can get it done in our first map. Please take it away, guys.
Thank you very much. So yes, here it is. Nightmare, Avril, they need to prove themselves right here, right now against EK, although a very tough one to do. EK are going to pick Samoa. They were not going to Ilias. I was hoping GK would take us there just because it's like, okay, you've won it against TL and SSG, but we are going to be the ones to beat you on it. But they're deciding absolutely not. And it's going to be Samoa, which I believe is going to be our first Samoa pick of NA Stage 3.
Yeah, I think I would play one of the GK strengths going into something like an Ilios, just in terms of like they're a lot more comfortable on the dive. We're going to see the Wrecking Ball ban straight away. I don't even think Ball's that great on this map, but just because, you know, first of all, Control is going to be one of the Ball game modes alongside Servasa on Flashpoint, so that's where you would target the Ball if you're going to do that at all. I do believe GK had first ban here, so they gave away the Ball ban. It's also a nice one to be like, you know what, Ball's not even that good on Samoa anyway. We'll let you ban away the Ball now. We'll pocket our own Ball pick eventually when you put Rhino into play, and maybe we don't feel like playing the Ball mirror, and then we'll ban the Ball against Rhino, and we'll play something else. So that could be a further look down the line. And as you say, maybe it is potentially the first Samoa of the region as well. I don't think Samoa has been played that much globally overall. So yeah, it's been
a couple of maps in Korea, but it has been, everybody just loves Lijiang as well, to be fair, so it's Lijiang Ilios.
Pretty rare in Korea as well, but a couple in there, but pretty rare for sure.
All right, let's load on in. Got a Volcano first. Yeah, not so much a ball map, especially this stage. No. Not the best for Wrecking Ball. Too many corners, really. You can kind of hide behind. So that's a Dragon Eggs. I'd never seen that before.
Do we have dragons in the Overwatch lore? Is that, am I learning things on Overwatch right now? Do we have dragons in Overwatch?
New dragon hero coming out? Wait a second.
I'm in DM Scott real quick. What's the dragon hero about, guys?
Yeah, what is the dragon hero, bro? We got the dragon skins.
We got it. Yeah, we do have a lot of dragon skins. All right, let's talk about comps here real quick. Cover's going to roll out on Winston. So I was going to say Hazard is actually potentially a decent pick here as well. On this first point, I think that Hazard wall just blocks off a decent amount in the choky entrances. Is Seeker going to come through on a cast? This is interesting. I don't know if I think cast is very good in the meta right now. The HP nerf really made cast quite vulnerable. I say that as Lethal's going to pop through on the Soj, who also copped an HP nerf. But more mobile, more survival.
The cast is so good on this map, though, to be fair. How close range it is, and also Cover running Winston. One flashbang away from death. And yeah,
Cover died. Quick pause, guys.
Yeah,
it's not correct. That's not right. That's not right.
Not what we expected.
Restart the map. Cover die first, restart the map, fellas. That's not right.
That's unlucky. Yeah, real quick pause here. We'll get back into the game in a moment. But I mean, I like the cast personally, especially on this map. Very close range. It's not like when you go to like downtown, where you have the point, which is obviously kind of recessed in the middle, where the Sojourns, your Freyas, your Ashes have like a bit more of a range to them. The casting on this one is good. Against the Zarya comp's pretty rough, but against Winston, it's perfect.
Update here in terms of what this is about. We had a disconnect from Lethal, who was on the Soj, so they lost the fight anyway, so he'll reconnect, he'll respawn the team. Ult charge, his team basically doesn't have ult charge anyway, so it's whatever. So if there is a disconnect, this is one of the better times where a player is going to end up dropping out. It is what it is. So it is an interesting comp in the fact that we have a Symmetra here from Maimone on top of a Winston comp. It's like if you remove the Winston and you play Tracer's not banned, you play like a Tracer, it looks like a pretty normal Soj Tracer Winston kind of dive. Makes a lot of sense. Obviously Yuvi's going to play the Wuyong because that's his hero right now. The Symmetra is a little bit weird. I wonder if they were considering, surely PK wouldn't have rolled out on D.Va here. I think Sim, I don't think Sim is amazing into the Zarya, so that is a little curious as well. But the Sim on Rocket makes a lot more sense because you are playing a broad comp, you're playing Seeker as well. You want to TP around the Deadeyes, you want to be able to have a situation where you can have some more survivability on the cast. They're even playing Lucio back. I mean, this is very classic Brawl from the side of Nightmare.
Yeah, you love to see it, and expected too, obviously, with Rhino not in the lineup right now. And it's worth mentioning too, GK come into this stage with a static 5, so like no substitutions can be had, whereas Nightmare, they've got a wealth of them. I mean, not only do you have obviously the 2 tanks, you have Rhino and Painkiller, but they've also got Squid as well, and then White and Lucamino for support. So they've been very willing to kind of sub people in and out, especially Rhino and Painkiller, when it kind of suits the map and the game type. Whereas GK, you're going to be pretty happy running the same 5 you've done for quite a while now. I mean, look, it's under the Nightmare banner in stage 1 in China. They ended up being Crazy Raccoons, so you're pretty pumped with yourselves moving on with that same roster.
Yeah, I don't think you need to make too many changes here if you're GK, because you already know you have currently the #1 team in North America as 2 stages in a row, essentially. Every player is very capable. I think the only weakness here is I don't think Admiral really flexes on the flex support side of things. So have we seen Admiral on a Kiriko so far this stage? Do you remember?
It's mainly Lucio. Like Lucio.
Only Lucio? So that
you can, like, if Lucio's banned, obviously they'll start flexing, but it's more like the Lucio and the Wuyang, and it's
yeah. So I think that's maybe the one area where, like, if you target ban Admiral, it could be a problem, because he's gonna have to go into Wuyang or Kiriko if Lucio is banned, because I don't know if you can do, you know, the whole situation that we have on EMEA where like Crispy gets a Lucio ban and it's like Juno time. I don't think that would be a good look for GK. But we're back into play. Lethal obviously reconnecting, 0 ult charge. It's a reset anyway, so we're chilling.
Yeah, we're chilling. Like you said, yeah, the ult charge really a non-factor. It's not like they had ult, so all good. Quick recontest, of course, for GK, but the likelihood of you touching this point, especially against the Simcast, is going to be so tough. Like, Cuppa has got the weight of his world onto his shoulders right now.
He's winning a long flank as well. He's leaving the rest of the team a little vulnerable. Speaking of that, he's just loser play. Lethal's next.
Okay. Seeker just walks forward, kills 2. That is vintage Seeker. All right, Cuppa does manage to get the kill, though, but unlikely is that going to be a fight win.
I mean, I saw Cuppa just jump across the backside of the map in that bottom right area, and as soon as he jumps, Nightmare make the call, push now, go in right now. Cuppa can't respond, and that's exactly where Nightmare found their success. So 2 fights in a row now. First fight, I don't know, maybe Lethal's AFK disconnected. This fight around, Maimone down, Lethal next. No real response except for Cuppa getting 1 in return. And now Ultra online for Nightmare.
Yeah, you can just window up on this high ground, beg GK to even peek you. Shift there from Lucamina, getting a large amount of value. High noon. Seeker looking to teleport. Oh, almost nearly to click Admiral there. Little flank pressure from Lethal, but it's not going to result in all too much. Seeker actually just double body shots Admiral. Sorry, Lethal ends up backing all the way up, and
out.
Extended these team fights now with the window.
Cuppa had to exit fight as well, so Window's going to play through. And what is GK going to do? This is where you might just want to bubble Cuppa in and make a play out, because you can't just stay passive.
Booped. It got booped away. And a nice little teleport as well, just sends him to the backline, and Painkiller's already killed 2. Cuppa, with the engagement of his lifetime there, with a bubble, the Tidal Blast attached to him, and Nightmare just TP away. GK capped the point for 8%, but that's it.
I mean, I'm looking at Nightmare taking an early round with a lot in terms of how strong they look. This might even be, well, it's not 100-0, because the 8% flip was there, found by GK. A little pittance they were able to find, but GK still are looking for their first true ult play. Yeah, they have the Tidal Blast bubble play coming from UV to Cuff. By the way, Winston, in my opinion, not a great bubble carrier. They want it on a Trace, but they don't have that. What they do have is
the wall. Seeker the target. Sound barrier comes in from NTMR, but only hits 3 there. Lucamino separated from the rest of the team, and Seeker died before it even connected to the ground. Cuffer getting some revenge on the Cassidy, but a 97% cap for Nightmare.
You can see they can finally actually walk on in using cover of the Photon barrier from Maimon. GK will get the entry required. Previous to that, they're getting heavily poked on out. It can be hard to engage a Symmetra TP team as well because they can TP around the map and sort of get away from the dives. Some around. Nightmare on the retake scenario. Window nearly coming online. Lucamino almost on his secondary ult. GK, they got to be active. They're the one playing the dive team here.
Hey, we're back. So is Painkiller, I think. We should be good to go. I believe Painkiller is doing a bit of hotspot gaming right now, so fingers crossed, no more DCs. But we were on the first stage of Samoa.
Little Wi-Fi's, neighbor's Wi-Fi gaming happening right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully connection is stable.
It happens, it happens.
Little cup and string connection over in PK's house at the moment. We are hoping no more DCs, but as we will sort of just remind everyone of where we are currently in the game. So we just did have, before the Painkiller DC, he was on Zarya, about half ult charge, lost that one. They're about to recontest. I can't quite remember what the percentage points on the map were. I'm sure we'll find out. It was like 32-97. So Nightmare about to win this one, but unfortunately, the reconnect into a reset.
Yeah. No mercy as they chase them to the spawn door. All good. 3 ults too for GK.
Still waiting to see, okay, where Nightmare are going to be able to make their comeback happen. No energy, no ult charge with PK, but 3 ultimates on both teams, but Ultraviolet will be able to make the game changer happen.
Yeah,
oh, man, Luke's
Seeker.
Window.
Yeah, little window usage. Nice skill onto Painkiller too, making sure this doesn't escape with energy.
He did it while his team was losing, which is very confusing. This might just swing things massively. I mean, we had a giant amount of momentum for Nightmare before the very long pause. I was talking about how the fact that Nightmare looking in a strong spot to take away this opening round in commanding fashion. Now the opposite.
Yeah, this ends now. Lethal. The fight ends right here as they all back up into spawn, not wanting to get a headshot. I mean, this is fine to fight out.
This is the one they're actually going to push on. But again, they've lost window. Very confusing usage by Lucamino. GK's going to force a fight early if they're smart.
TP onto the point. Sound barrier comes in. Cuff's got the primal rage. Jumps to the point straight away. Just juggling Lucamino away and straight into the drink. A hot, fiery demise there for Lucamino as overtime is here and GK just dump ults. And that'll be the first round. Done and done. Nightmare with 97%. An unfortunate disconnection there for Painkiller, just taking the momentum out of their sails.
Yeah, that's a rough one to come back to. Unfortunately, we were looking at Nightmare being in a good spot to be able to take away the round. Then they did lose the fight. They did lose the fight before the disconnect, which, you know, is unfortunate, but there's still a lot of comeback potential there. You come back from the disconnect, they're getting Giga spawn camp. Luke just drops a random window that doesn't help in terms of the ult economy, and then suddenly GK are at 85% plus. They just finish off the fight. Lucamino gets primaled off the map. Admiral delivers the Weon bubble into Nenwai's face, and it's all done and dusted. No energy for Painkiller to end there. Open for a bit more of a comeback now from Nightmare on our second round, but we know how well they played in that first round, so we know that in this series they should be a very competitive team.
To capture the objective.
Is this a nice point as well for the Winston, to be fair too? Much nicer than Volcano at the very least. See if Seeker can still do some damage on this Casty. Rocket and Nenwai, they're taking a lot of early damage, but there's the first kill. Ultraviolet down.
Yeah, Cuffle was playing the actual coast angle, so he was all the way on the beach trying to make something happen there. Meanwhile, the rest of the team GK, it's kind of similar to what we saw in Volcano. They split their team a little bit. Cuffle going one way, the rest of the other 4 going the other way. Ultraviolet was a little too far up near the bridge. Ended up being the first target from Nightmare, so it's another first fight going the way of Nightmare.
Oh, wow, they are just chasing for Cuppa. Wow, Cuppa thought, you know what, I can take this mega health back control. Sure, why not? Just the entirety of Nightmare ran him down. Good kill onto the tank.
Well, you have to respect the speed, and Ultraviolet has to respect this. Well, have to respect how quickly Nightmare, speed boost from Nenwai, Symmetra TP from Rocket can get on top of you. If you use your jump as Cuff and you get locked in a small room, you're gone. So 2 early picks, 20% on the point itself gone. Seeker nearly on ultimate already. Lucamino nearly there as well.
Some nice damage from Ultraviolet already on the high ground. Yeah, Lucamino going pretty low. Wave on the point, Painkiller isolated. I imagine Cover's bubble helping with that at least somewhat. Seeker now just kind of hiding away in this corner, but Lucamino uses a window, and that's going to be so hard for GK to really capitalize here. It's an awkward spot to use it on, yes, but my moan. Wow, doesn't take any shots there. I think a lot of those shots from Seeker actually hit the TP of all things. Lucamino goes down, and Ultraviolet just springs on the back line as Lucamino's window fades, and that'll be the flip.
Oh, 50% gain there, but Nightmare probably expected a little bit more out of that fight. Geekay Esports got away. Now it's their turn to hold control. It's their turn to finally use some of these ults coming on through. Got a blast available. We know Ultraviolet's been farming up the damage. No issues. This is going to be a little bit better for Cuffer now, as we saw earlier on him getting chased down, trying to work those angles. Now he gets to hold space with his team.
Let's jump on board with the Wi-Fi gaming. Painkiller closing in on this grab as well, just trying to push up, but having to use those bubbles so early as well, Avril, considering how much damage UV is doing. High noon on the high ground there for Seeker. Teleports all the way back. Beautifully placed there by Rocket, helping Seeker secure the kill. Both sound barriers come in, but lack of healing now for Geekay really starting to hurt. As Avril's going to get chased away, and that overclock from Lethal, not enough to help turn the tide of the fight. And that'll be the reflip.
If UV goes down early, you got no Tidal Blast, you got no amp heals as well in terms of using that wave, and Admiral by himself not going to be enough. So Nightmare going to be able to get something nice with that one. Seeker TPing his Deadeye will set up the necessary kill to give Nightmare back control, 60% and counting. And I'll see if they can win the round that they were hoping for in the previous
good
grab.
Ultraviolet just stepping up way too early. Did you see how Nightmare were kind of coaxing him in? How much damage he was doing? They end up backing up a little bit. Ultraviolet goes for another aggressive left click, and he just gets caught.
Dude, did the bubble get on? I don't know. It disappeared quickly, though. That green HP is gone. UV didn't get to save anyone or himself with that one. Now time's running out. No grab is one thing. GK still have wall to play through. There it is.
Really good split there. Seeker in trouble. Ends up rolling away mid-air. There's a window on the point. But this Primal Rage is going to make it impossible for anybody to use it. Never getting chased away. Ends up apping the heals, taking the mini as well. On the other side of the map, though, Rocket does end up going down. Good flashbang initially onto Cuffer, but still he stays alive on the point. There's going to be decent high ground control here from Lucamino, but I think fight's already done. Nightmare, they end up going down.
That's going to be the Photon Barrier coming through my moan, countering Lucamino's window. Damage being mitigated. Cuffer then used that opportunity as well to Primal into the backline, further disrupting that window placement. And what a Primal that was as well, staying alive, pushing Nightmare around, forcing the team fight into GK's favor, and 99% confirmed for Nightmare, but it's GK in command at the moment. They have point control. No more Sim TP to get Seeker around the map, which could cause some problems. Rocket's going for the back out.
Ev's going to force rotations already. You can see Admiral poking his head on the point. High noon for Seeker. Teleport, not available anymore, sadly. It's how they got kills first, or last time around. Nice headshot onto Ultraviolet though, but the wave is going to send him packing for the time being. Tidal Blast connects with Admiral there as Seeker and the rest of the gang are just trying to cower in fear. But that Tidal Blast going onto Admiral connects with at least 3. Sound Barrier for NTMR only hits 2, and that will be the flip. And that might just be the map as well. 80%. It's going to be a final touch here for Nightmare, but it's going to be a rapid one.
It's a rough one. NTMR just pops a double sound barrier. That's actually going to delay the respawns for the team. I think that was a big mistake there. Geekay Esports should be able to lock this one up 2-0.
Rocket's dead. No touch. Surely there's no touch. There's a window in the spawn. It's going to get bubbled at the very least, but Lethal's already killed 2. And look who's waiting on the points. Admiral with the boop onto NTMR as Lethal digs Nightmare a grave in their own spawn. GK, take the map.
Yeah, I mean, you got about nearly 80% left, or rather 20% left. You hit 80%. And GK, you're thinking, okay, they're about to be on last fight, but you're doing a 2-man beat as NTMR, and I think your chance of winning that is unbelievably. That was a 2v4, 2v5 even. 2-man beat is not only going to be a waste of a beat, but it also delays your own reset. Those 2 members, NTMR included, who get the actual beat HP, the green HP, it's going to take longer for you to die and reset, which means your recontest is going to be slower as 5. Massive mistake in my eyes. You could argue maybe there wasn't a lot of time left anyway. If they full respawn as 5, it would be tough. I would say to that, Rocket can still go as Tracer, find a potential touch, enable it somehow. But if you just kind of like 2-man beat there, I think it's done. I think it's GG. Then you got to talk about the Lucamino weird window that he used on this early Volcano as well. I think we can maybe give Nightmare a little bit more leeway, given that they had the whole DC situation, which didn't help. But even when they came back from the DC, PK was back in, they were just mega spawn camped, random window and spawn, doesn't do anything for you. And then, yeah, it's just a complete roll through onto the next round. And this is 2 rounds, Jack, by the way, if you remember correctly. Both times, Nightmare have the early lead. Both times, they're getting early picks, punishing Cuffer early. The TP into the side hut on Coast, taking Cuffer down. That's after they had a first fight pick against UV. 2 early picks that just give Nightmare so much momentum. And then it flips as soon as Cuffer and the rest of GK get advantage.
Yeah, this title surge here was crazy. Admiral ended up was like backing off too. And then Ultraviolet pops the title surge on him. Admiral just 180s, jumps into the back line, gets a couple of knockdowns.
They don't respect how fast it goes.
Yeah, seriously. There's a nice couple of kills there at the end for Lethal. Good stuff from GK to start off with. But in all honesty, like, despite obviously the Elims and the KD, Nightmare still look good. They still look better than their week 1 games against TL and SSG. Obviously, the kind of the momentum hit of losing Painkiller and then obviously the early pause as well. Like, that's really rough, I'd imagine, on the mental of the team. But, you know, just reset for map number 2. We'll see if they can do even more. Because everybody's been wanting Nightmare to do well. Like, we're expecting them to take maps off good teams. And they've only ever taken the Controls, the Ilioses. But now's their big chance to kind of prove that they are not to be messed with here in Stage 3.
I want to remind people as well in terms of where those stats were. I'm pretty sure on this, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure as well that unfortunately, because Painkiller disconnected, his earlier stats from before he disconnected don't count towards the end stats, because it's obviously when you reconnect, all your stats are reset to 0. So we lost all of the extra KD and the eliminations and the extra damage from PK earlier on. So the stats are going to look a little bit more one-sided, because I don't think the game was as one-sided as the stats would tell you, given the actual percentage points that we ended on for both of those rounds, particularly the first one, which was, I believe, it ended 99 to 99. Nightmare were in the lead 99, and you know, maybe without the DC, they could have had a bit of recontest with the Zarya still in play. But we do, at least from my opinion, I expect GK to be the much stronger team here. They are slowly proving that one, but Nightmare, the scoreline doesn't reflect it, are putting up a very good fight at the moment.
And don't forget, all the teams are vying for that spot at the World Finals, which is getting pretty close, I would say. The year has flown very, very fast. It's kind of crazy. Every single stage, every single season, I feel like I say that. But yeah, we're in Stage 3. So make sure you go pick up your Worlds tickets, which is just around the corner. Of course, we've got the 1 3-day pass. We've got the VIP and some exclusive merch packages as well. So yeah, go pick those up. It's going to be a blast. Stockholm's a load of fun. Get to see cargo as well, which is going to be even better. And we're all going to be there too. So yeah, make sure you come on by.
George said that he would give every single VIP a nice tour.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I said we said Johnny's going to do that.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm not.
You can choose if you prefer Jaws. You can make sure you choose Jaws to give you the tour when he's casting, so he has to come off the cast and give you this, like, oh, somebody asked for the tour, I guess. Sorry, Rose, this is how it is, you know.
Yeah, solo cars from here on out.
Text priority, unfortunately.
But yeah, it's going to be a good time regardless. And yeah, GK well on their way almost. I mean, they're already 3-0. They've lost 1 map so far in this stage. So are they going to be tip of the top of North America? It looks like it so far. Small substitution though. Rhino's in. So more dive tanks, Painkiller taking a backseat.
I think this is also just given that even regardless of map, Painkiller's internet connection might be a little bit fuzzy at the moment, so you might just want to have Rhino in. And generally, I would not be surprised if, unless PK sorts out his internet, Rhino's going to be in for the rest of the series, which is going to be a little impactful in terms of what you can see out of this Nightmare squad. Squid's going to come in as well. It might be a long-range map. It might be like a Junkertown or something like that, given that Squid is in. I think Squid would probably only play if it's a double flex support sort of situation. Although Kiriko and Wu Yang is like playable every map, so that might not be entirely true. We might not be going an escort, but could be Servisa Ball. New Queen Street. Ball is maybe viable here. Otherwise, what is Rhino going to play? I guess Winston, he's been playing a lot of that. If you're GK, I think you target Rhino's hero pool immediately. If you're Nightmare, I guess you get first ban. You probably want to protect tank, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's tank ban first, just to protect Rhino's hero pool.
I mean, to be fair though, if GK ban Ball, it's like, okay, Rhino picks Winston, so it's kind of chill.
I think Winston's
Lucio ban for Nightmare,
more vulnerable. I think this map is really good for potential Reaper play. And as you sort of see there, it's going to be Tracer into the Lucio. Tracer being banned means we're probably going to be looking at what we've had a My Mode Adventure before. Could be more Sim, actually. I think teams are looking towards Sim. Wouldn't be a bad choice here with this Tracer ban coming on in.
Freya's got some decent range to work with here as well, potentially. You're looking towards that with the Tracer ban. Obviously talked about the Reaper. If Winston's going to get played, I wouldn't be surprised if Reaper just fills that slot.
You kind of picked up on it at the very start of the series too. This Lucio ban for Nightmare first. It does leave Admiral to play flex support. Yeah, so targeting Admiral, knowing that Squid and Lucamina can just play that double flex. So yeah, Admiral wants to rock because it has been mainly the Lucio, although can play the flex if required. And we've seen a little bit of Life Weaver from GK last stage. Like, yeah, so we'll see what Admiral ends up kind of pivoting towards.
There's surely no Life Weaver this stage. I think this stage is a different look entirely, but we've not seen Admiral play anything but Lucio so far, so this is going to be the first non-Lucio. I'm surprised the other teams didn't even exercise Lucio ban against GK, knowing that is
hell alive,
because he's going to actually just roll through. So no Lucio BAP. So the problem, so here I think this would have been the GK special last stage with the Lucio BAP included, and then maybe the Cuffer has it on top of that. We know what that comp looks like, but with the Wu Yang, not too sure what we're gonna do here because you don't have the double emote with the pull, the grip, and also the lap.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear 2x. Okay, lethal dies to the Torp turret, and then Seeker dies to a little damage there from Seeker. Okay. You saw Admiral kind of like half healing. We're just trying to heal UV there, but yeah, that wasn't even a fight. That was just 2 picks.
I know Admiral is currently like the Life Weaver player, but I consider this to be a huge gamble, a huge risk in this current meta. The Nightmare, they come in strong as sort of expected with the picks here. I did mention Freya, pretty long range, good sight lines on this particular map. Torb is sneaky good, particularly into divers like Torb.
Yeah, I did receive those buffs recently too in that mid-season patch. Just saying, it's possible. Nice little virus dodge there from Rhino, but he can't stay around for too long in this front line against Lethal. Their comp is very good at not getting dove there, being Nightmare, but they still need to somehow poke out Lethal enough for him to force to use that Translocator.
And the question becomes, like, how do you really get maximum value out of your Symmetra here as my moan? I mentioned Symmetra is playable, but I think Symmetra is playable if you want to play more of a brawl style and into the Zarya or into maybe even the Hazard here. It's like almost a pure dive with Sombra and Ball at the same time. The Symmetra is kind of existing, maybe playing some off angle, throwing some orbs in there. Speaking of throwing damage, it's just Seeker already on the bowler.
Yeah, cover close to these mines too. Both him and Rhino were ignoring each other there for a brief moment. Seeker taking a lot of damage actually from those miniature turrets as Lucamino falls. So yeah, GK up a player now. There is a Tidal Blast actually on UV. Hello, what's going on in the back here? Squid ends up going super aggressive, trying to back up all the way back, but wow, Nightmare over eager as Squid also uses Tidal Blast. Both Wu Yang's kind of trading that one out, but it's GK that come out on top and take the lead.
Yeah, Squid wanted to go deep. He Tidal Blasted himself. He put the bubble on himself, ran to the back line, and I guess it didn't really do too much as UV just uses Tidal Blast of his own, ends up being the only ult that GK used. They get the flip now on the point. 4 more ultimates to play through, one of which used now. Double EMP, but so far no kills. Get the one.
I mean, that's good enough, right? Like a one-man EMP, as long as you get the kill, you're happy with that. Cover ends up just rolling away, and this whole time, GK have also been pushing the bot. You can't really touch it if you're Rhino. Like, maybe you go for a slam and hit the mines, like, but you can't stay around long. Mines end up coming out, but good luck against the Sim.
The Tuna rush from Luke Miller should be the game changer. Admiral still making his way back from respawn. Cover's low. This is GK having to back on out, I believe, just before Cap is engaged. So despite using the photon barrier, it doesn't look like it's enough.
No, the Cap actually got engaged there, so Cap complete.
Okay.
There's one big hurdle out of the way. Rush on the bot, but this is merely just a push GK off of it. So Nightmare now down and all. Here comes the tree. Molten Core's going to help deal with that one, though. A little bit of deforestation now from Rocket.
Trees come into play as well. GK really using absolutely everything, and Molten Core will be the thing that actually burns down that tree. Still, though, payload in possession of GK on the side of the map that they prefer. UV, I don't know where that actually went. You see where the bottom
Tidal Blast. Ended up actually connecting with Squid there, but Cover couldn't quite end up getting the kill. Bolus, though, connects with UV, who was staying around a little bit too long near that mega health bag. Eventually now, Nightmare are going to be able to take control, but it's been tough. I mean, having to use that many ults just to get off of the checkpoint is not a good look. They're going to come back in with a Tidal Blast, but that's about it.
Very close game so far. Hard to call this one. 57-21. Nightmare still have a lot to play through. Squid's turn to pop in that Tidal Blast is just ball versus ball.
in the 1v1.
Yeah, really nice act there from Lethal too, just kind of saving cover. Rhino very much could have run up
Eating orbs.
him. Yeah, I was about to say, he thought he was going to go, but took 2 direct left clicks, empowered ones at that. Now the manual hack, I mean, this is the problem with this Wrecking Ball into the Sombra. It's just so tough to get stuff done, but luckily though, Cover delivered Rhino a free kill.
Lethal's finding it hard to find an angle onto the ball at the moment. Here comes a rush from Luke Mino to try and force this cap in. Squid to back this one up. The Tidal Blast, you'd imagine, should be pretty well used here. GK's just going to respect the rush, not going to contest until the final moment.
Yeah, Cover's going to be back as well. Tidal Blast
Seeker.
actually onto Seeker of all people. Yeah, so there's no knockdowns at all. EMP does connect with one, but it's onto the Torp, and Rocket had already pressed that overload, so he's just running backward, just holding S. As GK end up using 2 ults there with the mines included. Now Lethal just trying to find an avenue into the backline to try and kill Seeker. Eventually, Virus and a hack connects, and with the help of Cover, they manage to kill off the Freya. This high ground control is going to be good, but for how much longer do Nightmare have it? The answer to that question is about half a second.
Yeah, Seeker's done with the Freya as well. He knows he's getting hacked a lot. Sombra, good value into the ball, but really good value into the Freya as well. And Seeker knows he's been targeted. Cast now, try and play the flashbang into Cover, see if that helps a little bit, also into Lethal. But Nightmare, that was their chance to cap. Look, still plenty of the map to play through, 54 to 57, but they really would have wanted cap on that fight.
Yeah, all good for GK though now, just getting even more progress on the bot. There's the Tidal Blast. Seeker picks up the kill onto Maimone, who's trying to take a cheeky angle with that teleport. High ground control is great for them. They get Tidal Blast out of GK at least.
Speaking of which, right, the previous one from Squid used on a Seeker when he was in mid-air Freya. Not too sure if he was low HP or something, but that wasn't really what you wanted. Kuffer couldn't deliver the explosion onto anybody, and now he'll finally go down to Seeker. This is the value of the cast being found at the moment.
Yeah, and for the Torb as well, right? I mean, it's so hard to dive that Torb. Balls both, I mean, man, it feels so... Wait, what?
Just long-range rivets. Don't mind that. A little bit of classic Torb gameplay.
Yeah, just spam down the corridor and hope someone dies, and yep, UV. Connection with the kill. Got the Molten Core for the tree again, by the way. There's the tree. Where's the Molten Core? There it is. Night Elves with tears in their eyes now. Got a history behind those trees burning down, sadly, and wow. Nightmare end up getting halted for the time being. This wall's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, but hey, Tidal Blast onto Seeker. This time, yeah, he connects with the Wrecking Ball as well. Honestly, perfect target to go for too, especially with Rhino back in the action. The High Noon is going to get swiftly shut down there by UV as the EMP connects with a couple there as Lethal just kind of lays waste to them. They're not going to be able to get this cap as well by the looks of it. Look how close it is. It's literally like a meter away from cap, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's like 57.18 or something is the actual cap itself. So they're just actually under a meter. It's really critical that they need this cap. Lethal will deliver the final blow there. Well, the finality of the EMP was actually Ultraviolet dropping in the final blows. He was hitting those Orbeez. And Seeker cop one to the face. That's despite the fact that you took Cuffer down early to tank advantage, and not enough for GK. The tree's not finding any value because Rocket's holding these Molten Cores for them, dropping them on top of the tree. I mean, the tree actually, GK still win the fight, but the tree seems to be the only thing not actually getting anything done as GK will continue to win fights.
Yeah, just easy pickoffs onto Rocket. Seeker dies. Like, you saw Rhino try to go for a slam kill on UV, just didn't end up working out at all. It's just too much healing too from Avril. Tidal Blast, where's the connection? Doesn't end up getting it, but Squid still goes down. Bold straight into the line of sight of Maimone. They're even going to try and rush this. I mean, but they're just still losing this fight. There's just so much healing on the side of GK. No one is dying.
Another pause.
No.
This is where we have to consider the fact that this was a really important fight for Nightmare to win. We don't know what's going on here. Maybe someone disconnected, or hopefully we don't even have a painkiller anymore. Unfortunately, we did have Lethal disconnect at the very beginning of Samoa, if people remember that one. No, I was going to mention the rush being used there. If they don't contest that, we're looking at the potential for GK to look at triple digits. The first triple digit we find, which would, by the way, that's not where the theory is. It's not when you just get to 100. You have to get a 100-meter gap between the two teams, which I don't think you can find anymore because that would require you to finish the entire map. So point being, prevent triple digits from being confirmed by GK. And so the rush ends up working. It's being respected. GK back on out. And no one's left the lobby yet. So maybe it's something else that's all going on.
Yeah, it's getting word it's potentially another disconnect from Nightmare. Sometimes you can disconnect and you remain in the lobby. It's like a ghost for a little while. So we'll see if that does end up being the case. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll get back in the game hopefully in just a moment. Unfortunate for Nightmare. I mean, talk about taking the wind out yourselves. If it's on their side again, like, man, having Painkiller DC that much in the first round and then, yeah, come into the second, you're like, ugh.
We've got a little bit of time.
Too good.
Let's give a shout out to FACEIT rewards. See if we get a bit of a graphic to help me out here. But make sure you're connected to FACEIT. Of course, plenty of rewards from them. You get little FACEIT coins and all of that, all the good stuff. So there it is. Create an account. FACEIT.com. You can get yourself a laptop as well if you get enough points. These are a lot of stuff you can. I believe there's still skins that you can buy with the coins as well in the FACEIT client. So look out for all of that. Make sure you play. Get yourself a FACEIT Masters.
Yeah, I mean, you can form teams on there, and obviously you can compete, and even maybe you compete in OWCS. I mean, that's how teams like Dildo's got here. So
maybe you can get a guy like Matt on your team who barrages the ground. That can also happen. So
also
look out for that.
Very possible.
Look out for that.
Or Avril on Wrecking Ball. So
I wasn't even on the team. Why is Zoe chipping in about like
dude,
5
the Avril
years?
Ball is legendary.
Zoe continues to not admit that she was right next to the payload. She blames me for the scene. She was literally on. Take the screenshot. She's standing on the payload. For some reason, they didn't count as a touch. But I can't remember who was it. Johnny that decided Johnny cut me from the FACEIT team, and then you guys played with Matt barraging the ground, and I'm like, you cut me from the team for this. Seriously, like, come on.
You're born in the talent takedown, though. That was the legendary.
I was Sojin in I was Sojin pretty hard in Casters to Masters, and I was in the talent takedown. I was bought, but I got that 5K as Sojin in the Casters to Masters. Anyway, we're back.
Let's go. Okay, hopefully that's not taking too much of the wind out of the sails of Nightmare. Speaking of Wrecking Ball, yeah, there we go. Cuffer and Rhino. Not quite near the ult, but we're going to have the tree Molten Core combo again. Waiting for Rocket to spot the Molten Core. He sees the tree, but deciding, oh, there we go. Okay, one on the turret, a bit on the back line, and on the petal. Doesn't actually hit the tree in the end. Okay, a little unfortunate there. The tree's going to get a little bit more value for a brief moment at the very least. Here comes the Tidal Blast, though. Actually, Squid going in again, by the way. But ends up just getting booped away. Ultraviolet uses the Guardian Wave, just gets Squid out of there. EMP, again, from Lethal is going to find value. Rocket gets slammed into the dirt as GK continue their march forward. Eventually, the spawns will come into effect here for Nightmare, so they're going to get control of the bot, but this is a scrappy fight. Like, someone needs to be able to win definitively here, otherwise this is just Geekay all the way.
We're about to have 1 minute left, and under that now, as we head into OT, Ultimate start to lean towards the GK side of things. We haven't seen too many successful bubble pops so far. The explosion of the Tidal Blast haven't really delivered for the most part, but delivering will be covered to Seeker. So GK are going to win this one. They're about to have player advantage going into OT.
Yeah, they will. Carpet just kind of rolling around there, splitting off Seeker with the mines and with the wall from Mimone. They're just continuing to gain more and more lead. Lucamino's 1 HP. Oh man, this is looking rough, to say the very least. Tidal Blast into the spawn. Seeker takes care of Lethal, but still, man advantage here for GK as they move up the hill.
It's confirmed. 10 seconds left to play through. Nightmare on the wrong side of the map. They have to win this fight and then push the payload all the way to the other end and then double their distance. They've at least got the 1 kill onto UV. This is where you have to start getting really economical with your ultimates on Nightmare. Multiple fights ahead. I will stress, it is winnable. This is not 100-0. This is 56-101. Cap has not been confirmed. I talked about this earlier, Jack. They didn't get the cap, which is going to delay them a little bit in this OT.
Yeah, they really have to just be perfect. GK looking at a 2-0 right now. There's the mines on the point. Tree deployed too. Never seen the tree under the high ground like that before, but Seeker with a nice flank Deadeye. Avril goes down. Seeker got the Tidal Blast on him as well. He's going to try and hit somebody, but the Guardian Wave, well, it's not enough to stand in the way of Seeker's Peacekeeper. Nice double headshot on Ultraviolet, and one from downtown as well. God, he's still got it. Seeker with 3 kills on the Cassidy in OT, grants them a team kill and an extra life.
And the most important part is no one on Nightmare went down, so they don't have to regroup. They get the full 5 here. They've now finally confirmed this cap. However, you have to wait for the delay now. GK are going to get a full wave of respawns. There's still minimum 1 fight, might be 1 more there. It's EMP versus Katuno Rush.
Rush for Lucamino used first, trying to buy them space. Cover ends up going down too. Final fight here again for Nightmare. They need to be perfect. Luckily, those Suzu used to help save Seeker, but they cannot afford a single death.
Here we go, double DPS ult, lethal on my mode. Could be a big one. He thought we're forgetting his position.
Ready for it, goes in Fizz. Here comes the wall though, on my moan. EMP connects with 2. Seeker lit up like a Christmas tree. Enter going down, Suzu TP for Lucamino, pretty vulnerable as Rhino trying as he must to stick on the payload against the Molten Core, against the mines, against the just riddling of bullets that Letha was setting out towards him. There's just no way they touch now. Not even a hope in hell, unfortunately. A Tidal Blast even attached to the sim of all people as Geekay roll away with the win on New Queen Street. As a rather up and down game and a very scrappy one when Geekay was grabbing that lead. Yeah, the pauses, like I said, not quite taking the wind out of the sails for Nightmare, but definitely not helping.
2 really important moments. I'll get to that in a second. Take a look at Ultraviolet's damage on his team, by the way, ahead of both of his DPSs. Now, throughout this, though, it is Sombra. You're going to be in Vis a lot. You're not just hard spamming damage. And you are playing Sim into a ball comp. You're not sitting there just hard beaming down in a Ressa or a Diva or somebody. So you are not going to get as much farm of the damage for your Sombra and your Sim. But it still just speaks volumes, man. Like, Ultraviolet's damage in this game on a long-range map. We can just pop the orbs on people's faces. It's quite unbelievable. But I was going to mention the 2 important moments for me that happened here was, one, the denial of the initial cap from Nightmare. They ended on 56-54 or something like that, where they couldn't quite hit the 57-118. And then beyond that, the fight just before the OT hit, Jack, where we hit triple ditches on GK. That you cannot be allowed if you are the side of Nightmare. We saw how much effort they put into a previous fight where in a 4v5 they dropped the Kitsune Rush from up high downtown just to make sure that they can secure a fight. This was just before the pause, because it's very important they know that they can't allow the game to get away from them. You suddenly have a situation where you're pushed in that deep at 100 meters and then you have to push all the way back in OT and double that distance. It's so hard to win, and they didn't.
Yeah, Seeker definitely had a bright spot there, but unfortunate for Nightmare. They might just go down again. I mean, they are... What, they've gone against Liquid, they've gone against SSG. They had their win against Stildux, but now facing up GK, who's looking to be one of the best teams in the region, if not the best. They go down 3-0 here. That's a major punch to the gut as the week moves on.
GK is just that team, though. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all, unfortunately, as much as I want to see closer games. We're getting close games within the maps, but when it really counts, and the biggest proof of this was on Samoa, if we just, forget about the disconnects for a second, because we still got plenty of gameplay regardless of the disconnects. GK were losing both the rounds of Samoa, and then they made the comeback happen, because they're never out of control. Truly, it's like, yeah, we'll lose a couple of fights, we'll be behind, Nightmare can even push a 99%, but we're going to get it back here. And then you see on this map, stats are actually close here, with no disconnects, damage dealt, healing, everything is pretty damn close. It's more about the impact of where those fights took place and who won what fights when and where. And I still do, for how much Seeker did on the cast, it is still a vulnerable hero. I just think the lack of the health now from the nerf on the caster's health does put him in a bit of a contentious position. And if you don't have a sim to TP you around to give you mobility but also escape options, very easy for you to be dove upon. Even with the flashbangs coming through, it can be quite the challenge. So yeah, all of these things at the end of the day kind of add up. We've also, Jack, by the way, now seen the ball versus ball mirror, which is concerning because Rhino might be playing for the rest of the series pending PK's internet connection. You may have to start considering that you might want to rule out the ball mirror now if GK are that much better on the ball mirror.
Where do you think they go, though? If they do end up banning Wrecking Ball, like, okay, and then where to next? Like, do we go a long range map? Do we go, like, I don't know, Junkertown, or like, where would you even go?
I think you played a Seeker's Hero Pool. I don't want to see, unfortunately, I don't want to see the cast.
Long range maps?
I think you want to put this. I think you want to do Seeker Freya again, or maybe Seeker Soj. So I don't. I think the cast is too vulnerable. He performed well on the cast, but the hero is too vulnerable. So I don't really want to see that. PK is coming back in, so hopefully that means the internet issues are good. He's the cup and string internet is gone. He's got real Ethernet now, and the Zarya could make a comeback. Yeah, this is where I'm thinking the Zarya should look to make a comeback. Has it been banned yet?
Zarya,
I don't think so. We had Kiriko, Ball, Tracer, Lucio, so you have to be concerned about the Zarya ban. If you're Nightmare, you might want to first ban a tank just to protect the Zarya. I'm assuming they're playing a Zarya map, because that should be Painkiller's #1 hero in this particular meta.
Can't have that Lucio banned either now on Nightmare side of things, so going to have Admiral back on Lucio, and it just feels like we're not, well, I guess technically we're halfway through the series, right? If we do end up going to a map number 5, but we're seeing NY come back in, so it's going to be hard Lucio, I'd imagine.
I didn't even think the Life Weaver was doing that much. The trees were consistently being counted. I didn't see any like hyper clutch pulls like, wow, that grip was crazy. I just maybe it really just was a heal bot game from Admiral on that one. So that's the concerning part, is we played a ball mirror where Admiral played Life Weaver, which I don't even consider to be currently a very good hero, even though it's Admiral playing it, and they still won with the Life Weaver. They still won.
Maybe you just need the heal bot though, you know what I mean? Like against that kind of dive scrappy comp, maybe that's just what they needed. Like, you know? And then we're going to Surabasa. Like, this is obviously going to be Lucio, and well, GK kind of read your mind, Avril, there. And if they're worried about the Zarya, we can just take it off the table. Wu Yang banned from Nightmare, and we knew this was going to come in this series at some point. We know how good UV is on Wu Yang, like best in North America.
The choice is
most
Nightmare.
damage every single lobby.
You are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do you protect the Zarya to enable your strengths, or do you ban the Wu Yang to target the enemy strengths? Right? And you've done that, and previously you targeted the Lucio. Sadly, you lost there because, well, the Life Weaver just somehow worked, even though realistically on paper the Life Weaver should never work. GK Admiral, he's just a Life Weaver guy now. On this map, you get rid of the Wu Yang, which means it's Lucio Kiriko both sides. Ultraviolet's going to play the Kiriko. I don't think it's a huge nerf, but I do think losing the Zarya on Painkiller is a much bigger nerf. Painkiller's probably going to end up playing Hazard now, would be my guess. And I wouldn't be surprised given that, then GK roll out round point number 1 with Torb Sim, either one or both.
Little career pill, maybe?
Is that, or they're going to do Orisa, but I don't really know if Orisa's good enough in this meta. That's the Painkiller special. Ramacha did get a small armor buff, but I'm still not the biggest Ram believer, so I don't know if I would really back myself on that right now. I think Hazard is probably the safest pick for Painkiller's hero pool. But it is.
Welcome back. Yes, sorry about the tech pause again, but I think Painkiller internet Wi-Fi hotspot neighbor's internet was, no, it was messing up, man. I don't know what's going on, but we should be good to go. We are remaking the lobby with a different map. So we're actually going to Junkertown now, and we're going to Escort, not Surabasa like was picked before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's also new bans. They're redoing the bans, so
right.
New map, new bans, new substitution. Because Painkiller's not going to be playing. Rhino is going to end up playing. So we're just going to pretend everything we did before the DC didn't happen. We'll pretend that never occurred.
Nothing happened.
Rewrite when we're
never going to Surabasa.
Do a rewrite on that one.
Yeah.
A little bit of a
Junkertown was the pick, which makes sense. And look, at the end of the day, if Painkiller is having patchy internet hotspot issues, etc., best to get Rhino in at least. Then you can have a fair match. Although Rhino's ball is bad, which is very unfortunate. But Wu Yang still banned by Nightmare.
Yeah, well, I think this is the map where you actually do want to target the Wu Yang. You don't have PK in anyway, so you don't need to protect the Zarya. Ball being banned here is not even super. It is and it isn't, because I don't know how much Rhino would have wanted to play the ball mirror here anyway. I don't think this is an amazing map for ball for what it's worth. So both tanks will be moving over towards most likely Winston, possibly looking over towards the Hazard. Given that Winston's going to be high likelihood of being played, I wouldn't be surprised if Reaper's going to be in the mix here as well. Really interesting to note here is, no, there is no Painkiller, but there is still going to be the NY sub-in over Squid here, so no double flexible backline for Nightmare on this map, which would have potentially been strong. However, given that they were going to ban Wu Yang anyway, probably makes sense they're going to play Lucio Kiriko, and NY's going to come in and play Lucio. So I'll see Lucio Kiriko both sides.
Good chill. All good. And yeah, no surprise there. Cuffer on the Winston. I like this though. I really like this. Lethal on Hanzo. Now, Hanzo did get a small nerf actually coming into the mid-season, and it was reducing the size of the Storm Arrows basically, because they felt like trucks when you were firing them in the mid-season, or not mid-season, sorry, in the like initial seasons patch. So yeah, a small change there. Not sure it's going to affect Lethal too much. Still a ridiculous Hanzo player.
Those long range is very important here. I did also mention before we initially get Survasa that I wouldn't have Midas and Nightmare go towards a long range map, enable Seeker's here a little bit more. And it does seem like Seeker also wants to play through the Hanzo. Is this a real Ryan? It is a real Ryan, the Lucio, and a Bat, and also a Bastion. But
wait, we're just doing Pirate Ship.
Pirate Ship was old school Pirate Ship coming in here a little bit.
Yeah, okay, love this. Little TP up into the high ground there from Cutler. Not expecting that damage though. Beautiful shield from Rhino too, stopping all those heals coming in. Really nice kill. And nothing escapes this Rhino, unfortunately.
Yeah, the TP from Limo.
The tail.
Doesn't come in quickly enough to save Cutler, and he jumps away and dies midair. That was critical. Another early death on Cutler reminds me of Samoa all over again.
Yeah, they're going to be able to come back at least fairly quickly. I mean, but getting an angle here. But Lethal is going to be kind of nice. You can play on the periphery of things. Nice couple of headshots there from the Storm Arrow, but Cutler dead again. Okay, Lucamino goes down, but it should be a fairly trivial affair, actually, to kill Lethal. They can just charge right straight towards him, and if they want to, even TP on him. And also, who's going to touch? Absolutely nobody. Nice spoof on Avril. That's a touch for Nightmare. I didn't think I'd see a Rhine and a pirate ship on Junkertown, Avril. I'm going to be real.
Lethal's done enough damage with the Dragon Strike, which is going to be good against his comp. However, you can also just TP around it. I think Nightmare are bringing together something really strong looking that have caught GK off guard completely. Cuffer's not going to swap up. Winston's doing nothing here. I agree with the swap entirely. And you're in a situation where, by the way, I don't know if anyone else spotted this, but on GK's rotation, that last fight, Juvie had to burn Suzu super early. That's why when Cutler jumped in, he died and melted. There was no extra Suzu to save him.
Well, there's the Dragon Strike. Everybody's already off the payload, though.
Yeah, that was very sad.
Yeah. It'll look cool, though. At least. 4 minutes and a bit seconds left in the time bank as we try and see a rotation again for Nightmare. Either teleporting people up to the high ground or losing Lucamino. Okay, that's definitely not the option they wanted to go for. However, artillery barrage.
Oh,
nice
lethal.
Suzu. Lethal gets out of the way. Nice wall climb as well.
Because 1 HP, this is the first time we've seen him actually low, and Cuffer's going to confirm that kill finally. Breaking up things with maybe the hazard wall, but some decent damage just to be putting on top of the Basher, who needs to be your target. This has to be your #1 to get down every single time. But Nightmare solve ultimates. The bad news is Nightmare have no position anymore. Where can they go with this? Window with a Bastion, be very damn strong, backed up by a Photon Barrier. I mean, that's a great combo.
Nice TP. Oh, attempted poop there. Looks like the support's actually from Nightmare got pooped out. A Lamb comes in. That was almost Lucamino's death. Cuffer ends up jumping in with Violent Leap, Avril, but he's jumping in through a wall, and he has no support. Then White picks up 2 kills in that fight. Dragon Strike. A little bit damage to Rhino, but that's about it. More of a tickle than anything.
I mean, it's Lethal. Where is he? He's really far behind. You can just barely see his silhouette. He is on the wrong side of the map, trying to make a spawn camp happen. He knows he's got a spawner coming in towards him, but that player is Lucamino, who also knows he's in a 1v1.
He hit these. He got 2. He has to kill Lucamino. He needs to find at least something. Soundback from Abel connects with 3. Rocket goes down, and Mimo picks up another. So, Lethal at least. Spawn cap initiated again. You can hear Lucamino above him.
Despite not getting the kill, I think he wasted enough of Lucamino's time that he prevented Lucamino from joining the rest of the team. And I think if you're Nightmare, you really need both your healers. Nenwai on Lucio alone is not going to be able to keep you up. So in that 4v4, GK can afford to not have Lethal be part of the 4v4. I don't think Nightmare can afford to not have Lucamino. So job done for Lethal in spawn despite no kill.
In big 2025, we're seeing Pirate Ship. Lethal again, just on and off angle. This wall is going to be almost impossible for them to fight through, and that downpour is absolutely massive from Cuffer. Everybody in that small room basically locked in place. Good little pin. Bit of damage down onto the hazard. Does end up going down, but should be a fairly easy kill onto Rhino, although not too many people to actually pressure him.
GK have to exit. They don't have a tank at this moment in time, which is actually a pretty significant trade. So despite winning that fight, Nightmare spawns right there, and GK have to respect that. A lot of time is gone though. Note that Nightmare did. I can't know what time they walked in with, but it was a lock. And so basically pushed through a no contest. Now for the long rotation. Lethal knows about this. They can't stop it.
Shatter available too from Rhino. Maybe they're going to try and actually touch the point. It has been regressing this whole time, by the way. Lethal up on the high ground now. It's got a bird's eye view of the battlefield, and with the Dragon Strike in hand as well, it's going to make good use of this. And Lucamino's caught out. A good TP. Lamp, unfortunately, just burned through by the left click of Mimone.
But now, this is a good setup. Dragon Strike's going to get a lot.
That's a lot of value. Yeah, look at that. They're actually just getting owned by that little turret, by the way. Mimone had a turret behind them that entire time, just lasering them down. This pirate ship combo from Nightmare is a beautiful thing on paper, but with a minute and 30 seconds to go, they might need to scrumple that up and throw it in the trash.
Yeah, but it's a huge mistake from Luke Mino. Again, you're just having these situations where Luke Mino, how is he so far behind? He took a TP from Rocket. TP got destroyed, and Luke Mino is just left on an island. Can't allow that to happen. He's trying to off angle and get Q. Stick together as 5. Enable this shadow play. You have to make a 5-man shadow play now.
Cover's already in. Violent leaps. Straight to the front line. Shadow connects. Sound barrier as well. There's a lot of tiny Overwatch happening. I think the land actually saved Cuthbert for a little bit there. Downpour, not quite earned. Earned it in death, sadly. 60 seconds to go. They've got a kill. They've ended up using 3 ults in that fight, though, but they've got a wall to make this next fight work. But Lucamino needs to join the rest of the team. Wall ends up getting deployed as the Bastion ult is going to lock onto somebody. Seeker trying to get it on high ground.
What's going on? What is he doing?
He's trying to get on high ground, but he couldn't do it. He was stuck in the animation. Oh, he was trying to kill Lethal, but he didn't get there. Couple of arrow shots towards NetWhite. We got to get that in the highlight package, please. Dragon Strike onto the point, ends up clearing it away. And Rhino and Seeker now have the high ground, but they're just getting rough rings around them as Lucamino's caught out again.
Now Nightmare just can't get on target. They can't get on anybody, and look, Cupfer's behind them. He's dealing the damage. Luke Mino's gone. Lack of healing is a problem. He's going to try and come back quickly. He's a Kiriko. This is final fight.
Good kill onto Ultraviolet, though. It is final fight, but look how low Rhino is. He has got no shield left. Final fight, and the Bastion and the Rhine, the pirate ship combo of old, unfortunately is going to sink in the murky waters of Junkertown. Oh boy. It was a nice attempt, a valiant one for sure. But it is a good hold for GK.
This is the kind of situation where Nightmare, despite having the TP, they're up against a TP on the other side, and they struggled to find a target to actually land on. They had a bunch of ultimates, Shatter included. Shatter's free in this matchup. Unless you get like the cleanest reaction wall drop from Cuffer, Shatter's gonna land. It is free. Nothing blocks it except for that Cuffer wall. But they just couldn't find targets. So finally they get this one Shatter onto Cuffer, which still took a lot of effort. Like you said, 3 ultimates. Lamp coming in, delaying, and then after that, they couldn't find the next target. They couldn't transfer that onto payload, get some distance, find a secondary kill, and convert. Lethal, by the way, was off angling the whole time. You see a lot of Lethal over towards the Nightmare spawn, playing that angle. He's baiting attention over, playing behind the shield where Rhino's pointing the shield, and every time Nightmare want to turn around and deal with that, you saw what happened. Luke Mito tries to take a rocket TP, then he just dies in the off angle because the TV gets broken and you do nothing. You can't catch Lethal at all. So, yeah, some potential missed opportunities there. Nightmare, some big ult leads, but they just couldn't quite convert. They got the initial surprise on A. Once things recovered and stabilized on B, GK just ran circles around him.
Big curse series it feels like so far, but I'm here for it. 2 Hanzos on the field now as Seeker is going to try and copy Lethal. Although isn't going to be able to off angle as much as Lethal did, because like you said, being able to run the Bastion and the pirate ship is great. You can teleport together, be together, but then those off angles are so deadly, and Lethal, he only had 1 death in that last round.
Oh yeah, they won't be able to catch him. He's too mobile as a Hanzo, even against that Rhine comp. So
The Rhino's dead. Okay.
Suffered the same fate a little bit early on, but this time Rhino will be the one falling early. You have to imagine this is going to be GK getting some mean distance now. As long as Nightmare don't lose any more, they can recontest.
Very aggressive dive.
Oh.
Okay, they at least trade for Cuffer.
Lifeweave was in play again as well, this time being piloted by Nenwai instead of Admiral. So Nightmare wanted to really believe in this. Will certainly help out your Ana a little bit. You want to enable the Ana for the sake of your Winston, but also to drop that double anti-nail in the backline. My Moan caught one.
Kind of crazy looking trades though. They're still pushing a GK, and now they can kind of split up the backline. Rhino's sent in to try and help. Nice little grip on one of the supports.
What, Nano on Nenwai?
The Nano boost onto Nenwai of all people.
That's a mistake. That has to be a mistake.
Yeah, that has to have been. Probably trying to get it onto Rhino so he could go in again, I suppose, because that Nano is not it.
Well, we saw Nenwai and Rhino grouped pretty closely together, so I think that was just a mistake where Nenwai got in the LOS, and that was that. To be fair, I don't know. It looked like GK was kind of backing out anyway, so Rhino, maybe he could have landed on target, maybe not. Still very capable, but now you're looking at GK double ultimates. Nightmare falling behind a little bit here on economy.
Good anti. Better Suzu though for Ultraviolet, and instantly puts down that rush on at the point. Lethal's already got 1 kill onto Seeker, and now looking at the direction of Nemwai. Is this such a powerful position as the Hanzo too? Nothing there really to disturb him. He's basically had no one paying attention to him this whole game. And a Dragon Strike kill to finish Lucamino off on the exit. 4.5 minutes, Avril.
Lethal tried, or rather Seeker tried. He went to the Freya afterwards after the Hanzo wasn't getting him much work, and he's back over towards the Hanzo now. As the Dragon Strike will enable the Camp GK push on through 4 minutes to Camp B. And they don't have to cap the entire way through just to get towards the end, and that is it, done and dusted. Waiting for to see what Nemwai does with Tree.
Yeah, Cover doesn't want to stay around too long. Sonar perk there picked up by Lethal by the looks of it. Hacking those health packs with the Sonic Arrow. Pretty powerful.
We'll put a pause in things with GK now. A bit of time for Nightmare to find themselves a primal for Rhino. Still really far away from the Nano Boost, which again, they want to actually put on the right person. There's so much time for Geekay Esports. I mean, even this little delay, GK, just a little bit, will allow you to get this Animal beat online.
Oh, that sleep come out, and yeah, that's go time for Cover. As soon as you hear that one, you're going straight towards that Ana's location. Gonna try and juggle the supports around. A nice little life grip to, well, delay the inevitable by the looks of it. Cover's juggling just too good, and followed up with the damage from Maimone. Maimone picking up 2 kills on the backline, and Avril, I think this is just about it. Unfortunately, Nightmare going out with a little bit of a whimper here with 3 minutes to go. It's all up to Seeker to try and be the difference that Nightmare need, but unfortunately shut down by Lethal. And Nano Boost onto Rhino, though, is at least going to buy some extra time. A pulse bomb from Maimone could just end it, though, but yeah, there's nobody really left to follow up. Nemwai and Rhino do end up coming out with kills as Maimone fights over the point. Cuffer also 1 HP, so actually, it's Rhino that comes in to save the day. Him and Nemwai end up just fragging out that Nano Boost deployed in the nick of time as Rhino kills 3 in that fight.
Yeah, it seems like GK just ended up lacking the damage to burst through the rest of the Nano, and a fadeaway Nano from Lucamino onto Rhino, coupled with Nemwai, who actually did a decent amount of damage and got a couple of kills there as well, allows Nightmare to stay in the game. That was surprising. GK looked like they had it locked in. Spawn advantage slightly in Nightmare's favor will also be able to help in that regard. But a Dragon Strike, you'd imagine, this time around onto Palo should certainly be a difference maker. Seeker can respond on the other side.
I really like Lethal just firing that Sonic Arrow, taking that Mega Health Pack away from Nightmare. That hack really does help out this push. Like you said, the Dragon Strike on this high ground could be used to kind of clear people off, and that's exactly what it's going to do. Oh, Seeker's going to respond with that one in kind, seeing where that original one came from. That's actually Cover split off the team. Okay, another fight available here for Nightmare as they kill 2.
Okay, I have to be a little bit concerned here. GK are losing a lot of time. Remember, they came with 5 minutes now. Less than half that remains. Next big fight will come through from Kitsune Rush. Again, put that one on towards the point. GK will have a pretty large advantage, but if Nightmare somehow survive this, you're looking at Primal, you're looking at Nano, you're looking at stall tools. With this payload as pushed up as it is, as close to Nightmare spawn as it is, anything like Primal Nano will just allow you to get more respawners. You're going to just be able to survive in a war of attrition against GK. Lethal now over towards the Freya. Done with that Hanzo.
Yeah, just wants to end it here and now. Nano Boost, though, built up by Lucamino for this fight. One big nade, one big nano could be the end of it. Ultraviolet, though, on the high ground. This is an aggressive rush. They're going straight for Lucamino's location. Cuffer now trying to split off people, but look at the nano. It actually went on to Seeker. Seeker just jumps down, punishes Cuffer, just fills him full of arrows. Just pops the storm arrows, and that's basically it. There's 50 seconds to go now.
They might have fumbled.
It's Nightmare holding on.
GK may have fumbled this one. That was a high ground Kitsune Rush. They wanted the backline instantly fall away. Too difficult for Cuffer to dive in. It's not like he has Primal to just get multiple jumps in. Very low rooftop on that right side angle, and he just can't quite follow through and follow in. And then on the back end, Nightmare get counter trades. Seeker goes down. This is an opportunity now. GK, final shot.
Maimone's got Pulse as well, looking for a target. Ultraviolet looking rather tasty right now. He's got to get it, and he gets the stick. Lucamino down, Nemwai to follow as Maimone gets 2. There you go, 10 seconds left in the time bank. Rocket at least gets the kill, and now it's up to Cuffer to push. Avril's going to come back with a sound barrier, but this Primal Rage is going to stall for an additional couple of moments for Nightmare. Lucamino switching over to Kiriko to get back to the point in time as they just juggle the point. Rocket and Rhino taking it in turns to touch.
3-man beat, 4-man rather than NY, 6% off. Needs to be
they got to get this 2%. Has has to get this sound barrier off. Lucamino's trapped in this room with him, but he gets moved away. A solo sound barrier. Wait, a lick of it actually hit Rhino in the end. The Dragon Strike's going to clear people off the payload, and Rocket ends up getting shut down. OT still in session here, so cover has to stick on this point. Seeker goes extremely low, booped away his cover briefly, but still they contest. Ultraviolet takes care of his Seeker, and now Rhino on his last limb as Lethal steps up to the plate, and Mimone takes down the rest. An OT push for GK on what looked like it was going to be a fumble, but they come out with a win regardless. A 3-0 in what has been a slobber knocker of a series.
5 minutes, just over that in the time back for GK to push towards the end of B. Not even a full B completion, and they used every damn second of that. You nearly saw Nenway AJ right at the end. The huge pressure from Kupfer jump on top of Nenway, but it was like a 1 HP beat, only hitting Nenway and Rhino, the two saviors of the day in a previous fight, like a few fights ago, where really they should have lost at that point, and able to just hold on, praying for the respawners, but Nenway just barely being off of that beat charge, and Animal being ahead by enough in terms of using the tempo beat. 4-man beat for Admiral to put their players on position to win. But you also have to talk about the fact that before that, Jack, players pushed up really far. We saw Luke Mino exposed as Anna, and he got stuck by Trace. He was so far up. You had this Nightmare team that wanted to just be really aggressive in their defense, and they got caught out by that. And I think that was a pivotal moment where they lost.
Yeah, what a way to end the series. Felt like Geekay, GK, whichever you want to pick of these two, dropping the spaghetti. Alas, they did not, because the spaghetti was dropped harder or more on the other side. Honestly, I struggle to really have a clean takeaway, because it was such a scrappy series. Obviously, the disconnect's not really helping. Clearly, Nightmare was not able to play what they intended to play, having Painkiller in the mix, having to make those adjustments, and we have to remake the maps. Like, all the odds stacked against them. It was low-key, but actually high-key cursed. Just a curse.
No, this was a cursed series, like you said. We then go to Junkertown because we can't go to Surabasa because of DCs and stuff, and then we have Pirate Ship, and it almost ends up working out. Oh, what a headshot! Wow. My word. Yeah, you end up having a situation where you come down to OT, where GK end up fumbling their Kitsune Rush on the high ground as Lucamino just nano Seeker. Like, man, this was a little bit of a wild one, to say the very least. But, I mean, GK still come out on top. A 3-0, they continue their streak in the region without dropping a map.
My takeaway is that GK are always going to be, in terms of this match versus Nightmare, more clutch when it comes down to it. In those very dire, difficult moments, the GK put themselves in a weird spot where they had 5 minutes of Cat B and they had to use every second of their 5 minutes. Yes, but when it really comes down to OT and the final fights, and the fights that really count, like you have to win this fight or it's over and you're going to lose the map, GK get the lock in, and they were really able to just find that win condition. Even in situations where you could point to multiple times in this series, Samoa included, but even in the early phases of Junkertown, they were behind. Look, remember the Ryan Bastion comp they rolled out with was a total surprise for GK. They had no answer on A, so A was a complete clean take. It took a while for them to stabilize off that, but then they sort of figure it out, play around the different angles, prevent themselves from being TP'd on by the Rhine, and then unfortunately for Nightmare, they just couldn't get any targets. I mean, they had this shatter they held on to for minutes because they couldn't find anyone to shatter. I mean, that's just a tragic way to play Rhine comp, sadly.
But do you guys feel like Nightmare set themselves up for success, or their individual players? I mean, seeing Seeker so much on Cassidy, for example, that's not his best hero by a long shot. Rocket on Torb, like, I didn't get the sense that they set the players up for success there.
I think the Torb is fine because you're playing into the ball and you want to just cause problems to the ball. He also just canceled the tree every single time, so eliminating Admiral from using his ultimate is you basically didn't even have a Life Weaver ultimate that entire game. I mean, that game is problematic in the sense that you still lose the Life Weaver regardless. But like, yeah, I don't know. The Cass is vulnerable. I'm not too sure what else Seeker could have really done there. I think Freya is fine, but he was on the Freya. Unfortunately, he was getting farmed by Lethal Sombra, so that was a bit of an issue. I just think in these dive mirrors, if it's ball versus ball or Winston versus Winston, GK is going to be the better team like 90% of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Kappa
felt so
established
scrappy.
dominance there. It was just a scrappy match, and again, like it was very disrupted with the disconnects as well. So you can only take away that much. Now, of course, Nightmare fans do not despair because Nightmare's schedule was very front-loaded. They do have the easier opponents in the second half, so they will still find themselves comfortably in the middle of the pack if they manage to bring those matches home. For now, we are heading into a quick break, and then we should be back momentarily with our last match of the day. Team Liquid going up against SSG. You don't want to miss it.